I help women grow businesses in Africa, but my home is Atlanta.
I tell stories of CARE's work in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, but my home is Atlanta.
I deliver life-saving humanitarian aid to the people of Syria, but my home is Atlanta.
We still live in a world where almost half of our population lives on less than $2 a day. CARE is an organization that focuses on eliminating extreme poverty around the world and working with the poorest communities to really help to build their self-sufficiency. We work in over 80 countries around the world, and we estimate that last year we reached over 80 million people.
My father was born in 1935. His family was targeted by the Nazis. The war ended and there was no food to be had. It wasn't an uncommon experience for people to be starving in Berlin, and this is where CARE stepped in. CARE was formed at this time in 1946 to feed people like my father and his family. Starvation was staved off and he lived another day, and from there he was able to escape Berlin. It ensured his survival, and without it, I might not be around. In 1993, CARE came to Atlanta, and my father, of course, recognized CARE as an organization that had helped him, and he said, well, yes, we need to do something. The work that they do is really the most important work that you can do.
We're very pleased to be celebrating our 20th anniversary. CARE came here in 1993. The leaders of CARE at that time felt that Atlanta was an ideal place.
When I came to Atlanta, Atlanta was a big country town. Our business leadership was homegrown, as was our political leadership. We had no boundaries geographically, but we had no boundaries emotionally and spiritually. And CARE was one of those organizations that maybe it didn't make us grow wide, but it made us grow deep.
CARE is one of the world's great humanitarian organizations. It would be of great benefit and a great credit to Atlanta to have CARE headquartered in Atlanta.
Bringing in an organization like CARE, it gives us a humanitarian core of organizations whose main concern is to serve others. And that's a wonderful way to keep a city grounded.
In our search for a new home, for Atlanta to be the kind of city that is always focused on human and civil rights, that CARE could really find real alignment with the city of Atlanta.
CARE and Atlanta are a great match, sharing a commitment to social justice, human rights, and the dignity of people worldwide.
There's no accident that you're in Atlanta, the cradle of the civil rights movement. This is the same journey. This is about equality and justice.
Let freedom ring!
The 20th anniversary of that move, it's fitting that we have the 50th anniversary of King's Talk of a Dream.
We are free at last!
Equality, access, fairness, all of these are themes that are part of our city's ethic. I think that those themes happen to be consistent with the work that CARE does every single day. The fact that all of this good is being done from the city of Atlanta is really consistent with the fact that we birthed the civil rights movement that changed the state, that changed the nation, and changed the world. Similarly, CARE's work under Dr. Gale is changing the world. You name the challenge that's being faced in a developing part of the world, and CARE is typically there. And by extension, the city of Atlanta is there.
Since CARE has arrived, Atlanta has become much more global. This globalization was in motion, but when CARE came, that helped to advance, helped to build the experience of Atlanta's global engagement.
Because of the unique opportunity to have organizations like CDC, like the Carter Center, like the academic institutions and CARE, this is in many ways becoming a real global health capital. By having these organizations together, we're better than any of us would be by ourselves.
CARE's presence in the city of Atlanta is as important as Emory University's health initiatives or the Centers for Disease Control because they're so well respected and because they represent excellence in their field.
A few years ago, I had the opportunity to travel to Rwanda with CARE. There was a group of refugees that ended up in Tanzania. In the space of only about 2.5 years, went from a refugee camp to a working village. And I have never, ever seen a happier group of people than the people in that village. From an uncertain future to a promising one. It was the most impressive thing that I've ever seen a group of human beings do for another group of human beings.
Even though the world is better off now, I think, than it's ever been in my lifetime, and maybe in the entire history of humanity, there's still a crisis almost every hour. CARE meets as many of those as they possibly can. And with a little more help from us, they'd be able to do more.
I've led community peace-building programs in Sudan, but my home is Atlanta.
I provide IT support to 36 countries, but my home is Atlanta.
I help communities in Southern Africa cope with disaster, but my home is Atlanta.
We are going to be unwavering in our commitment to making a difference in the poorest communities around the world.
I bring reproductive health to East Central Africa, but my home is Atlanta.
I respond to humanitarian emergencies around the world, but my home is Atlanta.
I help CARE send girls to school in Afghanistan, but my home is Atlanta.
We're going to continue to want to have the Atlanta community be even more a part of our mission, help us to continue to provide the resources that we need, but also to continue to be more and more part of this global community.